Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. There certainly are times to speak up. At the macro level, we might speak out on a political issue. Micro, we might often ask for what we want, lest we unduly sacrifice our agency. Plus, speaking is active learning. We grow from figuring out what to say and then saying it. But these days, silence may be getting short shrift. We may view as too limiting nuns' and monks' vow of silence, or even retreaters doing so for just a few days. Yet, at least in conversation, a reasonable argument can be made for silence, listening, evaluating. That may be especially true in conversation in which the other person or persons feel compelled to talk, even yell, rather than listen to your pearls of wisdom. And mightn't your pearls become more pearlescent if informed by others, if only so your counterpoint, or maybe better, your question, builds on all their previous input. Let's take a current example, COVID. Ask 3 people, you'll get 4 opinions. Maybe with their being so eager to express those opinions that they're not fully open to hearing what other people, like you, have to say. Imagine that you're in a 3-person conversation that grew increasingly heated. Person 1. Our county not only has a high infection rate, it has a high hospitalization rate and a high death rate. We need to be on lockdown. Person 2. Yes, but within the county the rate varies widely by census tract. Person 1. It's too hard to effectively communicate different rules for each census tract, and because there are racial and ethnic differences, accusations of racism are likely. Person 2. True, but by locking people down, you restrict their ability to acquire herd immunity, not just to COVID, but to the myriad viruses and bacilli that we're ever exposed to, that are in doses large enough to create an antibody response, but small enough to not cause significant disease. The heretofore insufficiently tested idea of sustained mass lockdown could well make us more vulnerable to a wide array of pathogens. Person 1. That's merely conjectural. Consensus among the experts is that a fair degree of lockdown is wise. Person 2. That consensus mainly is among public health types. They're too narrowly focused on the cost of the disease, insufficiently weighing the cost of largely very old and sick people dying against the economic cost of the larger population losing jobs, kids not getting an education, and the domestic stresses. You could have jumped in to add your perspective, but an argument can be made for silence. You get to hear their passionately held views, so that anything you then say or come to believe is informed by what they've said. A rule of thumb that many of my career counseling clients have found useful is this. In a meeting, it's often wise to let others have their say and then, before the topic is closed, make a capstone comment such as, in light of Mary saying X and John saying Y, I'm wondering if we should do Z. What do you think? Having been party to many conversations about COVID, the racial roiling, and the presidential election, I found that tactic to work well, and I commend it to you. There may be wisdom in the old saying, there's a reason we have 2 ears and 2 eyes, but just one mouth. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like if you hit the share button below and share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And in any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.